It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. And as usual, YK in the building.
Yo.
This is our final week for YKU because your birthday is next Monday. So today,
in fact, I actually now look forward to seeing
what we come look like. So do you like the ensemble today?
Yes, yes.
She got orange that we're all nice and bright like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. Everybody now knows what we can look like when we try to be like you. And we obviously are not doing a good job of it. You are still the
champion.
You're still the champion. I can't even work.
I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm hanging in there.
You look great at 60, YK. You look beautiful. People look at you. I mean, you're just a beautiful woman. I mean, I'm talking about you recently a lot because, you know, we're always talking about, oh, YK's better, YK's better. People say they just followed your career as a dancer, how you've been able to be a big sister to us on the show. You know, your views are really real and true.
Evolution into being a grandma.
Yeah.
And like at the party, she was carrying Nariri and everyone like, wow.
And all that. Well, it's good to see you.
They're in town. Temidire said to his parents on the way from the airport, Thank you for bringing me to Grandma's house. Honestly,
Obviously, he loves Grandma's house. How are you doing? How's everything else?
Fine.
How's your tooth?
I went to the dentist, though.
Yes, so how was that?
They gave me antibiotics. They said my gum had an infection.
Oh, wow.
So, no drinking.
So they didn't take it out?
So I don't know. I haven't been drinking.
That's good.
But you can take something on your birthday.
But you'll be done
tomorrow.
Okay. No, but why they just reserved for the birthday?
I'm just saying, on Monday, drink drunk. That's my name. Didi.
But you're coming on the show on Monday, YK.
Please come on the show.
But you come as a host because obviously we don't know, but we come as a guest.
We'll interview you.
Want to celebrate you.
No, come as a guest.
I want to celebrate you, sing for you, know. They have to do something.
It's a special.
Try.
Special.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. I'm grateful to God. Antale. Somebody saw me and said, like, oh, are you still doing like makeup? I said, no. I announced since January 1st of this year. I've announced it over and over again. I no longer do makeup.
But Ewabella is still
Antale. Ewabella is still there.
I know that the brand
what I do is real estate. I sell land, I sell house. That's what I do. Please. That's the business, and I'm not confused. I am actually I've never been more focused in my life.
I'm more clear.
I've never been more clear about what I want to do because people are confused on my behalf. I am not. I know what I'm doing is real estate. Thank you for your love.
How are you doing? Looking nice and bright.
Thank you. That's the exact rant I did on WhatsApp a few days back. I'm like, this one say you're selling hair, you're selling clothes. What can't you sell? What are you not selling? I'm like, Auntie, don't get it confused. Selling is the passion, not what I sell. So I can sell anything as long as it's not human parts. As long as I'm making legitimate money, I can sell anything. The passion is selling, and I am selling. And I am launching more things that I want to sell. Yes, so by profession. Exporter, pure water, everything.
Meanwhile, they arrested one lady, it was one of the papers, I don't know which one, saying she was selling human hair.
Oh, okay.
She used to go to barber shops and gather.
Oh, what sort of?
So they've arrested her.
The hair that we're going to
it's not a barber shop.
Yeah, they don't understand that there's a business. Come and learn from Beecee.
The herbalist was paying her to gather.
Okay, that one is for ritual purposes.
Human hair from the barber shops.
Don't be like that when you talk.
But she wasn't really committing a crime, was she?
No, human hair, people's hair from barber shops.
She was just collecting it on the floor.
Yes, and selling to ritualists because she needed money. That's illegal. We don't do illegal.
Is it illegal?
Yes.
Yes, I believe it's
well, I don't know if it's illegal, but I know that
private properties from your body.
You have discarded it now.
Mariah, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I'm very well. Today is Tuesday. I have a few meetings today, and I'm happy. Things are going well. Thank God. I just have, and there's a big things I'm working on, but I just need to take that plunge. You know, there's that fear. And I was reading the Bible today, was saying that if you either you have faith or you have fear, you have to choose one side. So you have to have faith. So that faith, I want to
faith to go mega.
Faith to go mega. God bless you. I need that faith to go mega. I'm just dragging my feet a bit, but God will help me.
Amen.
Anyway, let's go on a break. When we come back, so much to do in the papers today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So we're going to start. We're starting with the nation. Lawan's anti-restructuring outburst upsets senators. Governors seeking state police restructuring now. Labour shuts down Kaduna. EFCC detains ex-Kwara governor over 9 billion naira probe. 17 killed in Rivers, Delta, Abia, Plateau, and Benue states. Okay, I know I have the Lawan story. Well, which story? Okay, go ahead.
It's Lawan, you know, I was in traffic till. So
yeah.
I think I read one story.
Go ahead.
The Senate is rumbling because Lawan had made a statement saying the governors, the Southwest governors, the southern governors, sorry, were creating tension in the land by saying they want to create regionalism and restructuring, that they should start restructuring from their own states with the local governments. They have disempowered the local government chairman. So the senators were really angry that as a Senate president, how can you
say that?
So for me, even me, I was angry because I feel like the assignment of senators and House of Representatives is to speak the people's minds. That is his own personal opinion, I want to believe.
I know, it was very clear. They said that that's his own personal opinion. As a House, they're seeing what they can do to gather support to oust him by this week. I don't know how true that is, but I remember one of the people saying that they're talking to all their colleagues to see if they can. They might have to oust him sometime this week.
Wow. Yeah. I'll take the Kwara.
Because he has to be more responsible with what his utterances.
The Kwara ex-governor. Did you take that story? I was like, I wasn't interested, but go ahead.
No, well, it was questioned.
Because that's how they do these media trials. Okay? They'll tell you they arrested somebody, then he'll go on bail, then they will now...
He wasn't arrested. So that was what I wanted to clarify. He wasn't arrested. He was invited, and he showed up yesterday. They sent him a letter to invite him to answer some questions concerning the 9 billion naira scam that took place when he was governor and when he was the Commissioner for Finance under former Senate President Bukola Saraki. And the statement was that he spent about 7 hours there writing his own statement, but he went in voluntarily. Okay. That's clear.
All right, good. At least let's move on to the Punch. I just don't like media trials.
Let's get conviction before we can decide.
The Punch. INEC meets security chiefs as burnt offices rise to 21. Osinbajo disowns group pushing alleged 2023 presidential agenda. 31-year-old mechanic faces prosecution for alleged defilement of an 11-year-old girl. Yoruba Nation Southwest Governors Gbajabiamila, others meet Tinubu on Sunday. Cannabis will aid our industrial drive, says Reps spokesperson. Inflation drops marginally, experts counsel FG on security. PDP governors back southern counterparts, demand state police and restructuring. Okay, let's start with major headline. Go ahead.
Yes, so INEC is set to meet with heads of security agencies to end the attacks on its offices in some parts of the country, and that is going to happen after they are going to have their own meeting with their official heads. And according to the story, said the number of the commission's office burnt by hoodlums rose to 21 on Sunday night, because there was an attack in Enugu State. That's the headquarters in Enugu State. And said most affected states were Akwa Ibom. They had about 4 offices that have been burnt in Akwa Ibom, Abia 3 offices, Anambra 2 offices, Imo 2 offices, and other states such as Abuja, Borno, Ebonyi, Jigawa, Kano, Ondo, Plateau, and others have been touched. And now this, if it's not curbed, will affect preparations for the 2023 election. So they're going to have a meeting. And they are appealing to Nigerians to ensure that we do not, further spoil the nation. Let's work together.
Okay, let me take this story, Yoruba Nation, because this headline is saying Southwest Governors Gbajabiamila, others meet Tinubu Sunday. It could be misleading. That's one. It was his chief, the former interim chairman of APC, that's Chief Beecee is the convener of this meeting. And that's called all the leaders across Southwest. The governor, the chairman of the NGF, Governor Fayemi will be there, Gbajabiamila, other leaders within the state, to discuss possibly about this issue of secession. So it's not that they're going to go and meet Tinubu. Chief Akode called the meeting, and Asiwaju will also be invited to that meeting. Because they always make it look as if they're all going to go and meet this person.
But this one is not misleading,
Which one?
The cannabis will aid our industrial drive and boost IGR. That's from the rep spokesman, House of Representatives, Mr. Benjamin Kalu. He's representing the Akure, Ondo State capital, and he's saying that there are about 50,000 products that can come out from the industrialization of cannabis sativa, and that exporting it is also of huge value. If we're thinking of how to boost IGR, we know agriculture is one of the key ways, and cannabis has developed a huge value chain, and it's been legalized in most of the developed countries, that we should create a legal structure for cannabis here, and create the way to process it after harvesting the crop. How do we process it into pharmaceutical products, into skincare products, into fiber, that there are many uses for these things.
They use it for rope. You know, one of the strongest roots.
And he's speaking for his area. Ondo, Akure is huge with, they have the right soil to produce these things, but they keep burning it up.
Well. Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. PDP governors roar, demand constitutional review and others. Gunmen on rampage in Rivers, Abia, and Enugu. 36 state governors to meet tomorrow over insecurity and other issues. I look for that story. I don't find it. EFCC arrests ex-Kwara Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. And ACF backs in southern governors on open grazing ban, others. Okay, let's start with what happened in Abia.
Abia and Port Harcourt. So on Saturday, gunmen invaded Konoboi community in Kana local government of Rivers State and killed 4 men. They said the victims were identified as Lekara Bira, 32 years old, young man, Toka, 40, and 2 others. And according to the story, they said these young men were not cultists. They had no crimes attached to their name. They were, citizens who were working and earning a living. And they were able to get AK-47 from some of the assailants that were caught. And another one still happened in, that was Abia State, early hours of yesterday, and a police station was burnt in the state. Ubakala police station was burnt. The attack occurred about, I think, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., and that's caused a lot of, caused the government to impose curfew on the state. So, we've had police stations from different states being attacked by hoodlums, and till today we have not really prosecuted people who are doing it. So.
Let me take the Arewa Consultative Forum's position on open grazing. So according to Daily Sun, the ACF did not object in any way to the fact that the governors in the South had decided to protect the citizens. They have no issues with that. However, they are saying, as we've also said, that they are legitimate herdsmen who are doing their businesses legally. And there was an influx of headers from the south, from the west, that came in thousands, and that's what is really causing this problem. So according to them, they need to use the Ganduje formula, which is get Nigeria to amend the Article 3 of the ECOWAS Protocol in regards to free movement of cattle and other livestock without specific special permits. And then once that is amended, it gives access to about I think it's 5 million hectares of land that is enough to accommodate 40 million cows. And this can be properly grassed and watered and then be used for proper ranching across for that business. So what they're saying is that there are no objections to the fact that southern governments are dismissing, but things must be done properly to ensure that those who are doing legitimate business are able to do it properly. Okay, moving on now.
You can give the cattle the hemp plant too.
Oh, it works for them. They will be high, yo.
Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to move on to Vanguard. Nigeria at war. Military needs more funds, says Gbajabiamila. Don't hold Yoruba Nation rally in Iseyin. Monarch wants Sunday Ugboh. Use the 2014 confab report to rejig Nigeria, Afenifere, others tell federal government. Labour grounds Kaduna over workers' sack. Senator Garba's claims spurious, says Hadiza. That's the suspended NPA boss. Adopt Ganduje's formula to stop cattle from West Africa, ACF tells federal government. And FG to effect 3 new changes in PIB, says investigation. All right, let's start with the major headline.
Yes, so the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, spoke at a public hearing yesterday that the military needs more funding because Nigeria is at war. There was a bill, the public funding, they were talking about a bill that was presented seeking to establish a special trust fund for the armed forces. And they're saying one of the reasons they want to establish this is because insecurity has made it so. He said the army will need about 2 billion yearly to be able to run effectively. And that means for 3 years, they will be needing about 6 billion. That what we need is also to equip and train the army personnel. And he also mentioned that countries during the war, whether it's the UK or the US, always have to not rely just on the appropriation bill, but also extra additional bill to fund the military because Nigeria is at war and we need to go the extra mile to ensure that everything works out.
Okay, I have the story on the Yoruba nation. So the monarch, in his saying, or your state, was very unequivocally stated that those who are planning the Yoruba nation rally for June 5th should not come to his town. And he was very specific, saying that, first of all, they are currently mourning the death of 5 of their youths who were killed by the Nigerian customs, and that they live peaceably with all the other tribes within their region, and that they have ways of handling the issues of herders farmers crisis. So therefore, there should be no rally within his own locality in his saying. He was very specific about that. Okay, which other story in Vanguard? Who has had this story? You have that story, NPA boss. Okay, let's move on now to the Nigerian Tribune. PDP governors to Buhari send bill to National Assembly for power devolution now. Oh, we're not talking about the PDP. They had a meeting. Yeah. You guys heard that story. Nigeria accounts for 75% of crime in the Gulf of Guinea. Lekki Deep Sea Port, Lagos secures $629 million loan to project. Long work hours increase death risk for heart disease, says WHO. Kaduna Labour shuts banks, schools, airports, train station, government offices. FG has uncovered 476 online sites set up to fight government. And only 9% of armed forces budget is spent on equipment, said by Jabir Mela. Okay, 2 big stories, PDP governors meeting and the Kaduna story.
Yes, so I know the 2 big stories. Please let me first take my own that you might not think is big. Nigeria accounts for 75% of all the crime that takes place in the Gulf of Guinea. And this is not just a Nigerian waterway. This waterway spreads across the entire West Africa. Yet Nigerians commit 75% of the crime along that line. And the Minister for Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, mentioned this while he was talking about the fact that the president will be unveiling a new security watch along for the maritime, by Nigerians for the maritime industry, that they will be covering the Gulf of Guinea, involving the Navy, the Army, the DSS, and the Belgians intend to support us in exchange for us supporting their candidates for the International Maritime Organization position. I'm hoping that we can, because many of the ships that come in around the entire West Africa pass through Gulf of Guinea, and we Nigerians contribute to most of the crime that takes place there.
Okay, so let's do the PDP. Okay, the PDP Governors Forum had a meeting on Monday and asked the president to send an executive bill to the National Assembly to amend the Constitution of Devolution of Powers to states, especially on security matters. They are also asking the president to summon a meeting of the Police Council and other stakeholders to develop ways, to deal with insecurity. According to them, they are supporting the southern and northern governors' stance on restructuring, reform of government and ranching, and that the police force still remains the appropriate body to carry out security issues and so should not be attacked. They remain the appropriate body to carry out our democracy, and so they should not come under personal attack. Priority should be given to police welfare, training, funding, and equipment. So I think everybody, every stakeholder, every forum, we're basically saying the same thing. So it's not about the messengers right now. It's about the message. What we're saying, is it making sense? And how can we work together?
APC now issue a statement about this. Because to me, this seems as if they're looking for solutions
as
well. They're not just criticizing, but the APC government gave a very scathing.
Oh, really? In response to this?
Wow, I didn't see that.
But I know they gave that their 6 points. So the South had, I think, was it 10 points or 12 points communique agenda? This one had 6. And it was always somewhat similar to what the other governors had agreed.
I'm waiting for them to come together and everybody comes up with a unified
one umbrella.
The thing is, everybody needs to just come, sit down, regardless of your party.
Discuss bipartisan solution to our
Which is what
Nigeria cannot afford it.
Former Vice President Atiku said that all the governors need to just sit down together. Maybe we shouldn't wait for the National Assembly. All the governors, 36 of them, sit down together and decide what they want to do. Obviously, we can't wait for the National Assembly anymore.
I'll take the story of the Lekki Deep Sea Port getting funding. So the Lekki Deep Sea Port started in 2017, expected to end by 2023. All seems to be going well. They've gotten extra funds to help achieve that timeline from the China Development Bank. Be worried about that, but they got $629 million loan. This will help to achieve the goal. It's going to be a dry port, a liquid port, like it's massive. And Mariah even saw it the last time she was there, so we're expecting that this will come up.
I saw the seaport too. I mean, I was driving.
It's a massive space.
Listen, I don't know much about these things, and I tried. I'm just a regular Nigerian. I went to that area, I saw it, I'm like, what in the world is this? At that Lagos City, Lekki Free Trade Zone area. And for a second, I was like, okay, Father, make it, this country must not collapse, because we have prospects. I mean, I'm seeing development, and I feel that, okay, we are going somewhere. So as a citizen, just driving through that road gave me hope.
But there was something that I've been saying, because when town planning and forward thinking will tell you the road that takes you there has to it has to quadruple for the level of work that will be done there.
Or else we'll end up with like a papa.
Near Lekko, but that's why I'm saying what Dangote is doing. He's linking the pipes directly to where they're going to go.
They're
going to expand the road, obviously. But the point is that, according to what the governor had said,
we might not be using.
We might not need to use the roads to convey
It's not just expanding the roads. You have to have more than one
entry points into that area.
There have to be different accesses. I mean, that's one of the problems of Lekki. It's only one road.
One road, anything happens there, everybody's stuck.
Okay, we have to run off very quickly, but there's a story in one.
Yes, so NLC began its 5-day warning strike in Kaduna.
They grounded Kaduna.
Yeah, and nothing was working. All the field attendants, even the aviation sector joined. All the banks, all the companies, everything was on total shutdown. And they said they were going to bring government to his knees until he reinstates the workers that were sacked. So we had a total of 7,310 council workers that were sacked. They were also reported that they had about 1,700 workers sacked in the primary health care. And they are saying that the governor needs to reinstate them before the state can work. So the 5 days is just a warning. If nothing happens, they would continue.
This is where I'm confused, YK. Because, listen, unless NLC has some intelligence that says that there is money to be paid.
And they don't want to pay.
And there's money in Kaduna State government's coffers, and they're refusing to pay their workers. I can see. But the government is saying, listen, I have no money from the federal. I've been able to generate. Right now, maybe everybody should just go home first. Maybe we're going to find creative ways, because Lagos State has, I think it's LTSF, to help you to start your own business, to engage entrepreneurs. Maybe what the government is saying, listen, I can't afford to pay salaries. Let everybody look within and see what they can start doing, because I can't take that.
You see, the thing is, you cannot just wake up and decide, oh, I'm going to sack workers. First of all, he should have called the NLC. This is the problem. See my books. I cannot afford.
Communication.
You're not a warlord. You're not an autocratic, or what is it?
Yeah, you're right.
You're right, autocratic.
You have to. This is a leadership. You're supposed to call everybody to the table and say, this is my problem.
So it's a draconian approach that we're
And then also show your selfless service, your sacrifice that you have made. Because these people have lost their job and they're not seeing a counterpart sacrifice on your own part in cutting your own income. So like you have to show that I have done all my best. The NLC will not go on strike if they don't feel like the government has money and they're not giving them.
They
were saying that they feel the government has, they have information.
And talk.
I hope they do.
They may have
information.
I don't know NLC.
I don't know about NLC, but I'm just saying, this is not the solution.
Exactly. Find an alternative for the people you have.
Grounding the state is not going to solve anybody's problem. We can't. That's what Nigerians understand. We can't do two wrongs can never make a right. So is that conversation that we need to come back to the table?
But isn't that the only way you get the government to listen in the first place?
But the government, even before this strike, you should have called them.
That's the only way you get government to listen.
What is wrong with him? You should have called them. Let's discuss this matter.
What if he called them and they didn't answer?
Why hasn't he told us that? I called them, we'll see the evidence, so I've called them, see the phone.
So we are waiting for
in fact, I would even make the call public. Okay,
Mr.
film me
Wamba.
while I'm
Calling the call.
See who I'm calling, they're not picking my call. All right. You know that you tried.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we invite our guests from Roland Properties. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So join us on the show to discuss the vision of the company and most importantly, the Children's Day package for their kids investing in land properties is the MD CEO, Roland Properties and Allied Services, Mr. Dotun Oloyede. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. Nice to be here.
Your God,
Yes, so...
I'm the privileged servant of the company.
So we know you have a children's package because Children's Day is around the corner. Could you tell us about this package?
At Roland Properties, our aim is to reduce housing deficit one man at a time. And in the last 3 years, we managed to make the dreams of over 1,000 persons come to reality by making them landowners. And we've gone from 1 estate to 18 estates in the last 3 years. And personally, I have this strong passion for young people like me to excel. And I believe there's no age that is too young for you to acquire a piece of real estate. And that's the motive behind this young landlord promo. And I was speaking at an investors forum over the weekend, and I said that it's very important for parents to try to position their kids for a brighter future. You know, there's this saying in Yoruba, I don't know if I can say that, meaning that the rich always befriend the rich. See, it has been and it will continue to be. So rather than complain about that trend, we have to be strategic. Parents have to try to enhance the future of the children. But there's no point saying my child should start where I started. There's no point saying, oh, you know, there's this in that we don't want to spoil the child. There's nothing like that. I don't think so. So if you can afford to make something happen for your children so that when they grow up, they can leverage on it and be better and solve bigger problems, not everybody trying to survive. So you take away that survivor mentality and let that child start from trying to make power in Nigeria stable, trying to find cure for HIV. So that's why we brought this promo, to encourage sensitized parents towards acquiring a piece of real estate for their children.
This is awesome. I wanted to say something, but let me leave it and go straight to the product you're talking about. Yeah. So how does it work exactly? What can parents do to be a part of this?
So what we're doing is that we're giving a massive 30% discount for you to acquire a piece of real estate for your child. So it's something you buy in their name. You will be the trustee, like the custodian over it. And maybe when they're 18, you can transfer it to them. See, these children have these PS games and the likes. 5 years' time, they're not going to use it again. They won't even find it. It will not be relevant again. But there's something they can make in future. A friend of mine told me that one day they called him that they sold one of the grandpa's property in Warri, that he should send his account number, and they gave him 800,000 naira. But again, it looks like a small money. But if you didn't do anything, somebody just called you and said, take 800,000. It's a big deal. So huge. Why did you do something that when they grow up, they can leverage on it? They might want to develop it, can sell it, but something it will be very advantageous for you to buy property for them. So what we're doing is that we're giving massive 30% discount for you to buy a property for your child.
Where are these properties located?
There are a lot of options. While I was sitting down, we were talking about Beecee Dangote refinery. And as much as it looks like a problem right now, but right in that problem, there's a big opportunity. Meaning that the room for expansion is very big. That place can only develop. It can go down. So that's a nice place to invest in. And, you know, one of the things is that we must not be selfish as parents to think that everything you do must benefit you. It might not be benefit you at the moment, but it might benefit your child. Long term. You can say this place is far. But again, a far place now or a bush right now.
You're very right.
When your child grows up, okay.
Everybody said, yeah, where are you going there? Look at it today.
Yes, now, 10, 15 years' time, when your child grows up, that place is a town, and they will be glad
So what are the numbers looking like? When you say 30% off, because people just want to have an idea how much they can start putting aside for the children. What are the figures looking like?
So we have different products, from 500,000 naira to 800,000 naira to 1.5 million naira. There's something for everyone. So
for one plot of land, 1.5?
Yes.
So this promo that's being done, does it include spreading payments? Or if you're spreading your payment, it will affect the opportunities that you can get from it?
The interesting thing is that there's also discount if you want to do the instrumental payment plan for 15% discount if you're buying for your child. We're doing this for the children, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone to get on it. So there's 15% discount if you want to use the instrumental payment facility.
So if you buy the land, are you allowed to develop it?
Yes, you can. But one thing you cannot do is that you can't sell it as a parent.
Oh,
you can sell it.
Child,
you can develop it.
You can live
you
there.
can take possession of it. You can be there if you want to. But again, it will be in the name of that child. The documentation is structured in a way that it is for the child, but the parent is the custodian of the property.
That's really cool.
I like that.
I know sometimes you might be tempted, maybe down the line, there's something, let's
sell.
We won't allow you to sell it. It's for that child.
So, how old must the child be? Must the child be under 18? Can the child be 30?
No, a 30-year-old person should not also for himself. So it's from 17 downward. What we do is that you have to present the birth certificate of your child, because Nigerians can scam. You know, you have to. Yes, you can. You just bring their birth certificate. You know, we do proper documentation.
Some of us have an army. I have 4 children. How do I begin to think of
can you buy
land?
Can you buy? Because there's a deal I did that the person bought the land and wrote the names of our 3 children on one document.
Is that possible?
Is that possible with this deal?
Well, you can do that. You can buy. So it will be something we call joint ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. We have a client who bought 5 plots for all the children, all the grandchildren. Sorry, and later she came back and said. She wanted to buy for the child of the driver too. You know, people are doing this thing to just help people. You know, some of these child I'm talking about, they're not even in Nigeria, but again, it's not too bad to have some of these things in place for them that they can fall back on.
Yeah.
There's a problem I always hear about that when people like you sell land, there's always an issue of allocating the portion, because sometimes it's oversubscribed. And then when it's time for you to allocate, there's now a story of, sorry, you wait for the next one. You know, so what's the reassurance you're giving people who are listening to you right now that once I pay for my land will be immediately allocated and I'll see it?
I want to say 2 ways. Firstly, at Rural Properties, we carry out allocation every 3 months. This year alone, we've done allocation for about 200 persons. But there are some indicators you should look out for when buying from a company. And the company is selling an estate to you for over 2 years and it's not sold out. There's a problem somewhere. Then you have that issue. And if you go to our website, you see a couple of projects that we will say sold out. That's to tell you that we don't want to sell one land to 2 persons and we don't want it oversubscribed. The moment the land, an estate is fully sold, we close it and open another one. There was this estate we opened about 2 months ago, Freedom City. And right now I can tell you by the end of this month it will be sold out because we have over 300 persons already and we have just less than 400 plots there. So by this end of the month, it will be closed for sale. At Rollard Properties, we pride ourselves on one of our core values, which is integrity. Because we're not doing this for the short time alone. We're doing it we're trying to go down the line. Even this year, we've moved from just selling land to buildings. We now construct for people who want us to construct. We're building, we're selling. So our intention is still to go far. And one of the things that will keep us in business is, integrity, making people happy. And
please, can you help my case a little bit before you go? So if, I bought something from a company and till today they've not sold out. It's over like 4 or 5 years. What do I do?
Go take possession of your own plot.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah. Can I sell? Can I sell it back to them?
No, you can't force them.
Well, if they want to buy, you can sell to them. Or if they don't want to buy, there's nothing you can do. But one thing I can advise is that take possession of your own property. You see, there is no way you can say I own something if you have not taken possession of it. So some of our clients, when we allocate to them, we encourage them that come and do something, even if it's a short. It's not because we're scared of anything or we're going to resell the land. But again, it's just for you to also feel that,
own something.
Yes.
What you fence it or something?
My mom and her sister, they lost 10 acres like that.
Wow.
Not taking possession.
Not taking possession.
There are many stories about default. What's your default policy? If somebody is doing spread payment and the person doesn't pay, what do they get reallocated or do they get refunds, or what will happen if?
A lot of things can happen. You can get reallocated, like you just said, and you can. If you're paying before, let's say you just had financial challenges, you can seek for extension. You know, try to be considerate and see how we can rework. If you're doing one plot before, you can convert it to half plot. But ultimately, if you can't go down the line, we just have to terminate the contract. And
one more question. So the child, when the child is 18, can the child not go and sell the land?
yeah. Yes.
The land is for the child.
So you can't sell it, but the child can.
Yeah.
When can we come for site inspections?
So we run inspections every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So both Lagos, Abeokuta, Ibadan, we'll take you there, we'll bring you back free of charge. You can come and see.
You have in Abeokuta too?
Yeah, we do.
That's my town.
Oh, wow. We do. And there's one thing I say, something that amazes me is that when people sit at home and say they're lying, and they're offering you free inspection, why don't you just go for, maybe for the sake of educating yourself?
And see.
And they talk about refinery, some people have not seen it. You know, some people pay. Some people
went go back there.
My Oga, no vex. I went there. See, I can't stop talking about this thing. Why can you need to just go and visit? Because I went there for the Kellogg's opening.
Okay.
And I was driving past, I drove past the refinery, I drove past the Lekki Free Trade Zone. I was like, am I in Nigeria?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Did you notice that there's a bank, I don't want to mention the name, I just sent the refinery already.
The position.
So when you see banks start positioning in a place, banks are not charity. It means that something, and
something big is happening.
There's this saying in real estate that find out where people are going and go get a piece of land before they get there. So,
It's true. The wise people did that in Abuja too.
yeah.
I'm telling someone now.
Before you run,
find
please,
a place.
I need a gift from you.
She's 60 on Monday.
60 on Monday. Don't say a plot. So not for my child, for me.
Well, I'm very sure my team, they are listening. We'll definitely
work
do
something
something. But not a plot of land, but as a company, we'll send you something.
I don't want all those kind bring hamper.
You're selecting your gift.
I'm selecting my
you can select YK. At 60, you can pick what you
God,
want.
they will not go and bring hamper for me.
All right, I'll just say this right there that on behalf of Roland Property, we're going to give you a plot of land.
That's why it's good to shoot your shots.
God bless you. God bless you. Your land will be oversubscribed. Amen.
I'm praying for you. My prayer this night.
That's going to break. When we come back, we'll move on to other stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So from all indications, Lagos State government is set to place a statewide ban on motorcycle riders, popularly known as Okada. Now, what are your general thoughts on this? Many Nigerians have taken to social media to express their views. Some celebrities have spoken against this ban. And obviously, the state has considered issues of insecurity across the state and how much of a menace these groups have caused in Lagos State. So you can send your thoughts to 0. Let me get the numbers for you. You can call us on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-76948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your VTVC so we can read your tweet. All right, so this ban on Okada, and I know that it's not the first time they've tried to do it in Lagos State. At some point, they were banned from the highways. You know, then they were allowed to have in the inner roads. But now the state is saying no more because they're going to be introducing these smaller buses to enter the roads. What are your thoughts on this? Because whether we like it or not, Okada has become part of almost the Lagos culture. I mean, some states have tried to modify it, but Lagos has been that hub where you have Okada ride as a full business. What are your thoughts? Is this the right thing to do at this time?
For me, where you are not controlling them, they are not controlled. You can't control them. You can't. They are. I see them on the express road. They are coming in wrong direction, and they're coming with full speed. And you are risking your life, you are risking the life of the person on your bike, and you are risking the life of the driver who maybe doesn't want to hit you, will now swerve and go and hit something else. You know, you cannot control them. I know there was a fight recently with them in Ugboh. I don't know the cause of the fight, so I don't want to...
They're always fighting.
You know, but it caused a lot of harm. I think there was bloodshed and everything. So, I don't know. To me, it's overdue. I just worry because all of us benefit from Okadas.
Yes, yes.
All of us benefit because hey, please run to the house for me. Come back in 30 minutes. I forgot something. It's bike. You can't take cab because traffic is too much. So that is my fear.
But for those of you that travel abroad, we now look at the difference. So we've become so lazy and laid back because every little thing can just, the bike will drop you right in front of your house. But in other parts of the world, you are forced to walk because the bus stations only get so far. So from that bus station, you have to walk all the way to your houses, and it has really helped in the health-wise for many of these people. So the point is that again, let's look at our society differently. There are some people that are extremely poor. And this is their only means of transportation.
Okay, Mariah, you know, the first time we talked about this, I was of the opinion that we still needed the bikes. Because I was considering the people who were running the bikes, the poor people who needed to make a living and everything. But I realized that they were, like YK rightly said, they were beginning to get out of control. I remember growing up when we used to take bikes. We have sane elderly men who rode those bikes. They were family men who were married, and they were careful on the roads because they didn't want to kill themselves and, you know, leave their wives as widows and all that. But right now, what I see when I look at bikers are people who are mostly drunk most of the time. Early hours in the morning, they are high. They do not pay attention. You, the passenger, will be screaming, rara, rara. They are not listening to you. They are just heading in. And we've had fights all over, you know, pockets of fights around Lagos as I speak, and they were mainly caused by bikers. You get into an accident with a car, before you know, you see hundreds of bikers. They want to mob you. There was a video that was released recently where they had somebody took an Uber, I think, or Bolt or something, and then they had an altercation with before he called bikers. They nearly killed the poor young man. So they are beginning to constitute a nuisance. And now we are working towards fighting insecurity. We have heard that most of these gunmen come on bikes. We have heard that sometimes when they come, they work during the day, and at night they are the ones that carry the guns. So Lagos is a metropolitan state that wants to, as much as possible, cut down on the causes of insecurity. And there's intel that we have a lot. We read the papers and we see influx of bikers from different places coming to Lagos. So leaving them on the streets because you think the poor people will not survive, I think it's time for them to find other means of survival.
Well, the government has also said that they do plan to actually replace these buses. So I expect that some of these bikers will then be engaged as bus drivers.
Yes, the same ones.
Before they engage them. Because when the bus starts coming at me in the wrong direction, that one is wahala. So they better train them first.
So for me,
because these ones they don't have any they don't have any sense.
So for me, I think the last time they said it, I agreed. Every time they've said it, I've always agreed. And the reason is, it is not. We need to value human life to the point where we create there's a dignity to what a Nigerian should live, the quality of life a Nigerian should have, the quality of life a Lagosian should have. And this means of transportation isn't human. It is dangerous. It is not safe in every form. More importantly, the level of lawlessness that these people have decided is their way of life. It's not that they do it once in a while. It is their way of life. One way, on express. Now, because I know Nima, and I know the way that location is, the way sometimes containers, trailers will block the road, and bikes are your only means of survival. I feel that we must be more technical in how we deal with these things. There are places, especially in Apapa area, that when trailer locks you up in your house, you can die.
So
there are only bikes are the only things that can take you out. So we must be holistic in how we say we want to improve the lives of people. But I realize that Lagos State's reason for this is more of security as well. So if in terms of security, I agree 100%. In terms of quality of life, 100%.
Let's come to the issue, because what we are accusing the governor of Kaduna State is that draconian approach. Because if you just say we are banning, the Gaussians would definitely revolt on that. Why is the government trying, where they're talking to the various organizations of these Okada riders, are they registering the ones who are legitimately working? Is there a process to know that? Is there an identification they can wear?
Right, let's call it different.
You see, what happens? Sorry, what happens is, I want to be an Okada rider. I go and buy an Okada.
That's it.
And I just hit the road.
That's it.
And you fall down a few times, you perfect it.
You fall down, kill some people, whatever. You will still be an Okada rider. If you said the government should do that by registering them, my keyword, training them, because they have no training.
Yes, absolutely.
Training them.
Training is key. So is that
when you talk about draconian, see, this thing is very, it hurts, because we have such flip-flop inconsistency of policies in all strata of our government. This is the same government, in this same Lagos, not the same government, but under the same party, that there was something called hailing bikes, that businesses brought in funds, trained their staff, created a more reasonable system of transportation using this same bike. And then one governor came up and banned everything, destroyed their business. They had to start scrambling for how to go back. A lot of people now resorted to other means of transportation. The same bikes were back on the road. Like, what was the means? Why did you make that law and other businesses failed? And then the bikes came back and they are still running on express everywhere. So for me, it sounds right, but can we have consistency in our policy, well thought through? Like, you think everything and you have decided that I am going to do this, and this is the result. And this is, one of our producers, Bolaji, was saying that, yesterday, if you know what happened, Mowe Expressway, if not for bikes, if you know many people have died, that if not for bikes, that took them out of their houses because they were blocked. So there are times when this thing is like the demon you don't like it, but it's saving lives occasionally.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring in our guests to shed more light on this. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So join us on the show to discuss further on this issue of transportation is the expert and former CEO, Lagos State Ferry Service, Mr. Kalejaye Adeboye. Honorable, actually, Kalejaye Adeboye. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, viewers. It's nice being with all of you.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
One of the reasons why I wanted you on this show is because you can give us examples on the options Lagosians would have if the Okada is finally banned, as proposed to do today. And if indeed this ferry option is viable, and what are your general thoughts on why Lagos is banning this Okada this time?
Yes, first and foremost, let me congratulate the governor and his entire team for this bold initiative. It takes a lot of guts to go this right. But then it's not enough to say we're totally banning Okada. It's our enforcement. How well can we enforce this policy? It's been attempted severally, even partial bans on Okada. How effective was the policing and enforcement of Okada ban, even when it was partial? Now that it's going to be total, it's going to be a lot of effort on part of government to be able to implement this. So I wish the government well. Having said that, is to also say that the government of Lagos State had long envisaged the fact that we must exploit the potential that we have in Lagos in terms of water transportation. And government has over time invested heavily in water transportation. And I start from my regime when I was chairman of the Lagos Ferry Service. What government did was first and foremost to try and attempt to create jetties. Because one, water transportation is in three segments. You must create the jetties, where the platform where the ferries will land. You must also create what is called the road network. There must be a road network to access the jetty. Then the third one is the rolling stock, which is, of course, is the ferry. Government has done fairly well in terms of the first basic infrastructure, in terms of provision of jetties. We have jetties quite in a number of places now, especially in strategic locations. We have in Ikorodu, we have in Maitu, we have in Badore, we have in almost most important locations. Yes, but then there is still room to do more. There are still areas where, because your jetties is like your bus stops. And when the jetties are located, you're far away from your destination, it becomes challenging. If I'm going to Okoko, for instance, and I have to drop at Maitu, then it means I still have to take, go on road. So we need to do more in terms of provision of jetties so that we can have enough, bus stops, as I will put in the layman's language. And secondly, to look at what we have done in terms of accessibility to the various jetties, we need to do extremely more, because accessibility to most of these jetties are not quite good enough. Right. The last one, of course, is the infrastructure, which is the rolling stock. I congratulate Lagos because before I left, Lagos has procured 5 world-class ferries, which have become operational. My successor has also built on this, and the current government has acquired more than over 30 more ferries, and they are still counting. So it means that government had envisaged that we will need to resort back to water transportation. So now I'm saying that government seems to be quite getting prepared. Okay. We can do more.
All right, Honorable. So, we've had issues, especially in the papers sometimes, where we see accidents that happen on the waterways. And most of the causes is as a result of overloading, overcrowding. And I'm wondering, since we are trying to ensure that we can give some space to land and do the waterways, how trained are these pilots or drivers in the waterways? How equipped are they? How trained are they? How equipped are they? And what are some of, because I also heard that there was a time Lagos State was thinking of doing it like Uber, where you can, order and, get picked up just like we do on land. So how has that been so far? And how trained are they? How do we trust that our lives are safe when we use the waterways?
Okay, can I assure you that the LAC ferry is for ferry service. We have the LASWA, which of course is the agency that monitors the waterways. It's the regulatory agency that regulates transportation on the water. And I tell you that LASWA is also doing well. They also patrol our waterways regularly. But I must tell you, mishap on water is not peculiar to our locations. We can always just improve. Accident will happen. On air, we have it. Nobody prays. On road, it happens. On water, occasionally it will. But I will tell you, the major challenge about water transportation is about the dredging of the waters. Dredging water is quite expensive. It's massive. In fact, it's more expensive than doing road construction. So, wow. And then most government, I must say, is to say that everybody wants to approach the populist system, whereby if you tar road from here to that place, the whole world will see it, and everybody will applaud you. But then, if you do dredging on water, nobody sees what you have done. So some people just feel like just throwing money away, but it's not like that. So, and because we have a lot of wrecks on our waterways, which have been occasioned over time due to, unclear wreckages and whatever, these are responsibilities of the federal authority. But then the federal authority has not done much in terms of clearing the wreckages that have been on waters over time. So these, of course, are part of what we have that causes accident or what we call water mishap. But I will tell you that government is not sleeping, to the best of my knowledge, but government needs to do more. We need to really now face water transportation better than what we're doing. We need to do more investment, and government must really wake up now to be able to really effectively ban Okada on our ways.
All right, we have to wrap up with you, but I know that you still work in government, and we'd definitely like to bring you back on this because it's just, today's supposed to be the day. We know Nigerians are still going to react. There's going to be lots of, this matter is still going to brew for a few days, and we'll wait for that to happen. But I know you're working on something, and I'd like you to tell us before we run off so that we don't, you have a book, I think? You're going to launch a book, I'm told. Yes.
What I've done is that I've published a book. It's my autobiography. It's to be launched this Thursday, 20th of May at Lagos Country Club. Wow. The governor of the state is expected as a special guest of honor. The former governor of Lagos said that Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, is expected to deliver the keynote address. And he's going to be looking at our upbringing as a cacophony to the challenge of nation building. So I'm using my birthday to also generate national discourse about our problems. What are your attitudes? What are my attitudes? The culmination of your attitude, my attitude, will make a society.
Right, yes.
So my autobiography is going to expose about how my own little upbringing has affected where I am today and how it will also affect. So it's a program that we look forward to.
We look forward to that.
Most people will be there.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I think it's nice to hear Lagos State officials who speak this way and show that they are knowledgeable about what they do. And it's just kind of refreshing when you feel that our lawmakers actually, they are well-versed in the issues of the state, and they have stories to tell. So hopefully many of us will join you at that. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll have another special guest in the building. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, as you know, the popular saying, they say power is not served a la carte, that we have to grab it. So, it's exactly 641 days to the 2023 general elections. And with one of the largest populations of young people in the world, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen in these elections. But we have with us, join us on this show, to discuss issues of public affairs. He's a public affairs analyst, Mr. Segun Showunmi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Totally my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So you can call us on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-7694. You can tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC so we can read your tweet. Okay, so Nigerians, we are all concerned about 2023. We're seeing all sorts of posters. People are coming. In fact, the vice president was saying that this, he totally spoke against the recent online campaign for his presidential aspiration. He said he has nothing to do with that. So the point is, people are talking 2023. Young people are speaking. Young people spoke loud and clear during NSAS, and we're thinking to ourselves, are we ready? And there's this issue of insecurity. There's division in the land. We're not sure where we are headed. In your view as a political analyst, what would you think should be the approach as we go towards 2023, as towards leadership, especially the way party politics is still playing right now? What is the right approach towards 2023?
Maybe for young people or for everybody generally?
For young people. Let's start with young people.
Well, I think that, first let me say, you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
People have a lot of good reviews, and they think that this show is awesome. And
thank you.
Well done, guys. For us to understand what young people need to do, we must first ask the big question. Where are we now in the country? There's always a tendency for people to think that the people that are now, maybe advanced in age, maybe they came in as old men. No, they didn't. There's the 1960, 63, 66 class, which made up of the generals, the Buharis, the Obasanjos, and all of that. They're there, but they came in young. There's the 1992 class, the Juntabas, the Atikus, the Bola Tinubus, and all that. They weren't that old, but they're still there. And even now, there are quite a few young people all over. You see Yaya Bello of Kogi. You see a few of them that are been given responsibility at state levels and all of that. So if we must now say we want to have young people run the country, if that's your objective, then we have to ask ourselves, do we have a party that solely belongs to young people? Now, if we don't have a party that solely belongs to young people, between now and 2023, do we have enough time to create a fairly young party where the chairman is young, everybody is young, and we're all going in there young or nothing, do we have enough time? If we're to look at the democratic journey from 1990 to date, that's taken us a lot of energy to create fairly two balanced parties, maybe the APC and the PDP. So it means that for us to look at the young person in the presidency, we must look at how we're going to work within the structures that exist. Because in 2019, a few young people threw themselves into the ring, but they threw themselves in the ring in a manner that it was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
You don't have young people on the field. They have 3 parties. Dortoye is going on one all by himself. Chowore is going on one all by himself. My friend Magalu is on one by himself. Everybody was going one by themselves. It would then suggest that we have not learned that leadership ought to be a collegiate, especially when you want to seize power from, a hegemony that is well-rooted. Now, what must we do? First things first, we must look at those who say they want to be president, that are young, that have said clearly, the past is the past. Where are we now? From what I see, the only young person that one could say, okay, he's talking about wanting to be president, and the same people are asking him to be president, is Yahya Bello of Kogi State. Now, we could discountenance him if we like, at our own discomfort as young people. But we could also ask ourselves, if he has been governor for 2 terms, that means he must necessarily have the ability to form government.
Yeah.
Because one of the things is that once you become the president, you win an election now, you're going to be saddled with forming government. Yeah. And there are some intricate work in balancing things. So, okay, maybe we'll give him a pass mark. Okay, maybe he can form government. The next thing you say is that, okay, he's in a big party. After all, he's the chairman of their revalidation for APC. So you say, okay, maybe young people in APC, if they are that interested, may begin to pay more attention to him. But that's about where it ends. You can't be president in Nigeria on a frolic. The issues before us now are very serious. I'll say that we are even supposedly at a ground zero. We've never had a country this divided. If you have southern governors suddenly all coming together, sitting down in one place and taking very far-reaching decisions without waiting for their northern brothers to come on, that tells us that the cleavage is there. You can't have all of these ethnic jingoists who are now throwing all sorts of, non-state actors who are now beginning to bully the system. Yeah. You have the Yoruba man, you have the Igbo man. So you know that we have issues on our hand. And then there's security issues. And on the security one, I always tell myself, hey, if a tested general who defeated Metasini, who worked very hard and pushed the border, in fact, pushed it to almost taking over in Jamina, has held command and has been head of state, is sitting on top of the Nigerian country. Forget about politics now. If he is struggling on the matter, would we be fair to our collective in thinking that the job is easy?
So I've been holding a lot of questions.
No, you have been firing them, Because
this is your last one.
Yeah.
You said in command.
Yeah.
Now, the average Nigerian questions the command.
What do you mean?
Because they feel if he's in command, there would have been a lot more
work.
No.
I'm not talking about in command now.
Before.
I'm talking about, it's like I'm asking you to come and help me set up a new talk show on a new TV station. And you go there and people see you struggle. And they suddenly assume that you don't know what you're doing. So you have to understand that people come with some experience. Yeah. So if, because we're talking
You didn't get my question, sir.
I'm trying to get it, because we're talking about young people.
People question that maybe he is not in command. That if he was in command,
yes,
maybe things would be better.
I hear you loudly, but I'm trying to say that before we even get to the nuances of now, let us first of all work on what kind of experience a young person need to manage where we are.
All right, let's move a bit. Yeah, right.
I'm not even thinking it is young person or old person.
Yeah.
I'm not in that.
Yeah.
I mean, the mindset of Nigerians.
That's right.
The mindset of almost every Nigerian, not everybody, but a lot of us is when I get to power,
I will chop.
What I'm going to chop, how I'm going to enrich myself. How are we going to change that mindset?
No, I think
so that we stop thinking government is about personal enrichment.
Okay.
How are we going to start thinking that government is about legacy?
Right.
If I leave a good legacy, my name will reign forever.
Fantastic question you've asked. You see, I'll tell you this. In the build-up to 2015, you know, I'm as PDP as really can be. Now, in the build-up to 2015, we were going to clearly lose to the APC. And it was President Buhari, or General as it was called then, that was going to lead the onslaught. One of the things that I took for granted, even though I didn't join their campaign, I wasn't part of their whatever, one of the things I thought that even if he cannot do anything else, I thought he would be able to do at least two things.
Which is?
The first is that, no. The first is that I thought that he was going to be able to do a massive reorientation program that brings us back to where we used to be. Given that that was one of the things he drove when he was there before. So I thought, okay, with Lai Mohammed and all of these people, a massive reorientation, attitudinal change, and all of that would be the agenda. They didn't do that much. The second thing I thought he was really going to do, which really put a dagger in my heart because he didn't do, was that I thought that he would have been so methodical about his anti-corruption drive in such a way that he's going to use a very fine comb and very deliberate punishment. Not so much because we want to, you know, hate the people that have been punished, but because we want to send a signal that there will be a day of reckoning. Unfortunately, again, on that score, I don't know what has happened to him and who our handlers are. You can tell that we're just joking. So it means that before we will get to the point where anti-corruption and all of those corrupt enrichment get into office and become very rich will go away, we're still desperately in need of one reset mode that will have to punish those that we can tell stole our money.
Let me throw one final question.
Yeah, so
final question. Are we done?
No. We're here to 11. Don't worry. Relax.
So personally, I think that young people are really not ready. I think that's my personal opinion.
I hear you.
Yes, and I stand by it. Because I see that most of the people that we have that want to be in the corridors of power are aiming so high without any form of track record. So, and they are not even good followers. I think we need to get to a place where we learn how to follow, where we learn how to serve first before we now want to get to the corridors of power. So I would like you to tell us what you think we can do. For those people who are looking, you don't just wake up and start from being a president now. What happened to your local government? What happened to the other? You know, we need to learn to follow the process and build. So what do you have to say in that regard?
Yeah, that was why I started out by showing them Yaya Bello. Because I thought he's 45. He's done maybe 5 years, 6 years, removed that. So that means he got in there around 39. And luckily, by default, somehow he found himself as a governor. And he was also, so I was trying to show that you can't wobble and rush these things. The country is fairly big. The tribal divisions and ethnic and religion, all of the things that are the underpinnings of who we are as a people are very deep. Therefore, you need to be able to work within a structured system. And I gave the other alternative that, look, if we so desire, if we have the numbers, so they say, if we so desire that, okay, look, enough of this, then we need to bring ourselves to a position where we can sidestep the leaders of the big parties by creating our own. No one is stopping us from creating our own. But if every time we have an opportunity of creating our own, our interest will always be, I have to be chairman and I have to be president, and therefore you have to go and start your own party and be presidential candidate. Come on, man. We're not going to, we're not going to cut it. But I agree to the extent that there is no explaining of that whatever good the other ones have done in this country in government, we can thank them for it and tell them, hearing you reach and no further. Because we cannot be agitating perpetually over their watch, and it is clear to us that we're barely surviving and finding out how to exist within the status quo. We're not reinventing anything. We're not bringing any big or bold idea to the table. Therefore, I'll say it's always young people's time every time. All that requires is for us to collaborate and think properly and understand, like I said, leadership, if we must take power, has to be a collegiate.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have the political analyst in the studio, Mr. Showomi, with us. I want to go to the issue of politics and money. Because young people, you see, the reason we're having this conversation is that we see what's happening. And we're almost helpless. We have two major parties. People are saying, oh, XYZ is running, that was running, there's so many things going on. And young people are just looking in the fence saying, how do I participate? So you've said it earlier. It's either we join the existing parties or form a new one, which might be difficult because of the time that we have in right now. But the issue of money, how money plays a huge role in the electoral process. People don't have that kind of money. They don't have godfathers. They don't have anybody to give us that kind of money.
Well, I think let's first of all accept that Nigerians as a collective and as a whole, we love money. Nigerians, the people will tell you that when you do the survey, Nigerians can tolerate every other thing except when you touch their personal money. So it means that that's who we are. We like money. Now, why then does money play such a big role in the political process? I believe that one of the reasons why money plays a big role in the political process is because we have also accepted, maybe in error, the narrative that these people will win and do absolutely nothing for us, that the only time we're going to ever even have access to them is when they need us, and therefore maybe we just take whatever we can take and be gone. For us to adjust that, we'll first of all have to tell ourselves that what is the total value that we want to place on 4 years? Because the decision you're taking on one day, the total value is for you. We're going to have another opportunity until another 4 years. 4 years. So when we look at it that way, and then we'll say, okay, if Obama, being black and all of that, can, the systems, every system is every system, they're tough, can come in there, come up with such a big, bold idea that can rally people until he can win one of the most difficult seats to win in the world. Because how long ago did black people even start having? So it means that if there is a will, there will be a way. I think that, yes, we need some money, even to buy clothes. All of us are looking so gaily dressed. It costs money. And if you're going to call people to a meeting, you need to have some money. But the role we allow money to play is the role we allow them to enslave us. It's almost similar to how white people came in here, met the African chiefs and all that, gave them a mirror and a small whiskey, and they just scattered the way. What I'm trying to say, the similitude I know, I know, but the similitude I'm trying to play here is that there is no way I can buy you unless you let me. If you're not up for sale, I can't buy you. There may be someone that looks like you that may be up for sale that I can buy, but how much am I going to pay for you to allow me to have you? So in that case, if we're looking for how to get young people to be in charge of the country, since they're the ones complaining the most, we must do what is practical.
It must not be buyable.
We must do what is practical. The practical thing is that, okay, take for instance, let's look at the two parties. If tomorrow young people just decided that, look, enough of all this talking, let's just go and register in these parties. So that when they come and do party primaries, they'll meet us in the ward. What are they going to do?
Or the foundation.
No. If you get, listen, I play in this field.
Yes.
If you go to your ward tomorrow and you say, oh, I am this, tell them your dad's name and all of that, they know you're on television, and you say, I want to join the ward. I can guarantee you, before you go for 2 meetings, they will start calling you leader. The system is not that hostile. What happens is that those of you who have responsibility to advocate, to educate, to sensitize your fellow cousins, citizens, brothers, sisters, and all that, you have left it to crooked politicians.
Because we are our own government. The average Nigerian is their own government. I am generating my power, generating. So the Nigerian, we're not seeing the government's impact. And so we're a bit selfish with my time, my family, my hustle. But here's where I'm going to. The foundation is that the system has impoverished millions of people. The average Nigerian is uneducated, poor, so they are buyable.
You see,
the system has put so much poverty on ground with lack of proper education and political awareness that these people, it is easy to buy them off. The few of us that we feel we have education, we have human rights, that want to get into power, we are outnumbered by the majority of the population. So how do we begin to re-educate these people that did not have opportunities?
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Now, think about it this way. In 1958, 50, whatever, them Awolowo were going to do that free education. It was just a handful of them that were educated. How were they able to convince the mass of people who were not even lettered, who had not even seen a television system to follow? Here we are today. We are pushing the narrative of our enemies, the neoliberal members of the international community, who try to tell us that in spite of no evidence to support their claim that this is a hopeless case, it's not. There's a research work that was done called Factfulness. If you go check that research work, it will tell you that they put a group of professors together in a study and asked them questions around Africa. How educated are they? What is this? All of those questions that we also help them to push. All of them were wrong. Why? Because we may not be where we need to be. We have made some incremental progress. There's none of your families that can say truthfully, none of mine, none of any of our families that can say truthfully that we don't have one person in our family that is educated enough that we can look up to or that can sensitize us. We are not going to expect the uneducated to motivate and inspire everybody. It is the duty. It is the duty of those of us that are fairly conscious to speak to them. We don't need to try to speak to them in large gatherings. Let's start with our own families. The people that go ahead and just allow themselves to be taken for granted, who are they? They are our cousins, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. And we have not been able to let them see the point that everybody is the loser this week.
I agree with you. So what I'm hearing you say is that all of us here that are fairly lettered, gone to school, you have at least secondary school
you have some exposure.
You can talk to your family, influence them to join a party.
Absolutely.
Participate.
Absolutely.
So that we can all have that number properly, right?
Yes. Let me come to you. Yeah, so I want to really agree with him because I know that when you have people who are... No, when I finish my agreement. So I know that when you have people who are, fairly educated in your family and you have a family meeting, so to speak, they always want to hear, what does this person have to say? Because they trust that because you've gone to school, you will have good ideas on how to move the family forward. And the problem is some of us who are in that, we are not interested in politics. We are not interested in governance. Everybody's minding their family business, minding their family wealth, minding how they want to grow individually. So there's no collective, okay, Tokbe, YK, Moraya, you enter here, you enter there. Let's see what we can do. Trust me, if we try it, people will follow us already. But I have a fear because I think we are two different, we have two types of young people in the country. And when we hear they are buying young people, they are buying young people, they are buying the illiterate, uneducated, the foot soldiers that are always available in the world. They are the ones that go for the elections and everything. So they can be bought. They may not be able to buy us. So how do you think we can reach those young people who are not educated and talk to them to understand that if you want a true change, you don't need to be bought? How do we do it?
Okay, so that we don't just make it about the buying and the buying. Let me just say, let me put it this way. One of the areas where we have collectively failed, at least most of us, some of us more than others, is that we did not bother to take on the responsibility of interrogating those who present themselves on behalf of the whole. Listen, the heart of man is wickedly...
Desperately wicked.
Yeah, so we will never know. But we are not even interrogating them enough. If we took on that, if we're not interested in dirtying our hands, and we don't want to go to the wards, we can at least take on the responsibility of interrogating the people that want to lead on the issues that they're talking about. We can't be satisfied with someone saying, I'm going to build 7th mainland bridge without asking him the how, without asking him the money. And don't forget,
Mr. Shawumi, I know politicians who have interrogated and been relegated to the background.
Don't worry, I'm not talking about politicians now. People like me suffer a little bit because we're quite vocal and we're very present. It doesn't matter. It's the cost we're going to have to bear. But I'm talking about all of us now as a collective. I can't expect that anybody can say you can't interrogate, you can't interrogate, all of our colleagues can interrogate. And now, luckily, we have like an unfettered access on social media where information can go very well. But even at that, as crazy as that process looks, there's still some form there. People will listen to detailed analysis on what this man is talking about. So if anybody wants to be governor or wants to be anything at all, why are we leaving it for them?
All right.
If good people don't get involved, fools will make laws and the good people will have to obey.
Let me take
when you are good, they just say, they just...
Let me take one question.
Good morning.
Go ahead, Yakub, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Mariah, and everybody in the studio. Dr. Shawumi, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Although I'm not your fans, to be sincere, because I always follow you everywhere you go. Although this morning you have spoke a lot, and then you spoke what I really liked here. But Mariah, do you know what? We are talking about youth here. That's not how youth can get there now. Ask me why. The only thing we can do is that we can be able to join the two leading parties. If we say I want to form our party, and then we push one person to lead us, the person is not going to get it. Why? Why? Because Nigerian politics is, right now, it's all about money. Let me tell you this. If you are a leader in your locality, and then want to become just ordinary chairman of a local government, you need some people they call mobilizer, you need canvasser, and all those people that I mentioned, they would ask you where is the money, because they are going to spend the money in the midnight. Morayo, this politics in Nigeria is all about money as it is now. But if any youth gets to the presidency, hello, are you listening to me?
Yes,
the way our constitution is today, Morayo, let's tell ourselves the truth. The person is about to fail. Why? Why? Because now, today, we are talking about security in this country today. A station whereby you call a governor a chief security of a state, and then he cannot give him direction to the commissioner of police in the state.
Yakub, I hear you, and I want us to be very clear on what we're discussing here. So what we do today is that if you want to get into politics, you go into that system, and then you blend into how they do it, you get canvassers and everything. What I'm hearing Mr. Dewumi say, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. At all. What we're asking that everybody who is fairly lettered, talk to those around you. Go and get go and register. So, number one. When you all register, I'm almost the way when you are all registered and you have the numbers, when they're not having that local government elections, you have a capacity, a critical mass of new followers who can begin to...
Would they listen to you without...
Yes, ma'am.
When they say you either enter APC or PDP, why should that be my only choice? One, let me finish. Why should it be my only choice? Because I don't like the ideology. The ideology, I've had the ideology for the last 20 years.
They don't have.
And nothing has happened. Not even, is it 24 years now?
They don't have.
Nothing has happened. Now you're telling me I should carry my integrity and go and join them. And do what there now? Buy me too? Because let me tell you, there are differences. They are the illiterate people that you are they are doing something like that will collect 5,000. They are the ones that collect millions.
That's right.
They are even more deadly than the ones that collect 5,000. Because they are the ones that sell us.
Okay, let me, madam, let me engage it this way. We can leave it as it is. And we will have...
Let's form another party.
Hold on a second. And we'll have 20 conversations in 20 years' time, and it will resemble exactly the same thing we're talking about now.
Wow.
But if we must have a paradigm shift, we must be the ones that will set about the agent of the leapfrogging. Let me repeat. If we must have a paradigm shift, we must be the one that will set about the agent of leapfrogging. I get what you're saying. I am there. And I am saying to you, with every sense of responsibility, you cannot have a country with a voter map. What I mean by voter map is total number of registered vote nearing 70 million.
And the person that
and you will be winning the presidency with about 15. It therefore says that a critical number have not been bought because they are not even participating.
Yes.
It means that a critical number have not even taken up the civic responsibility of the opportunity that democracy provides because of all the systems of government that humankind has invented for itself. The only one that allows the people to have a minimal say is democracy. In monarchy, it's transferred by heredity. In the other one is a dictatorship. In the military, you need to do coups and all that. And yet, you have 15 million installing the president. Can't we chase the 30, 40 million that are not interested? Yeah. And for us to chase them, I have also said we have two options. We can go into the new party, the parties existing, and when we go into the parties, I'm not telling us to go there as their cheerleader. For instance, we can go there and at the point of conversation, we can do a negotiation of how many percentage of these things they're giving to young people. That's an easy route. The other one is that we can, please, how much money do you think you need to an election? If you have about 70 million people, maybe a little less, 50 million people that are interested, if we just crowdfund it for ourselves, if we can install the corporate governance template that we claim we want to put in government, even for the political process, why would it be a hopeless case?
We contribute to other causes.
Our issue is that they want 1 year to come, but they don't want to come with the remaining 3. So they can just take their in and just keep out there, make him smoke. I'm just telling you. And then when they're getting tired of Yenny, they want Morala to come. But if all 3 of you or all 4 of you were to appear the same day, haven't agreed with yourselves that gents or ladies were going for a collegiate season of power, then how are they going to buy you? It's almost similar to how military officers plan coups. They'll gather themselves. One set is in charge, another set says, no, things are not going well. They will agree with themselves, they will conspire, and they will seize power. It's not going to be served à la carte.
It's important that what you're saying sinks in, because we want people to understand.
Thank you.
Because that data that is there. Because remember when Trump wanted to come, every prediction was wrong. Because they don't have a clue. We have to find that docile vote that nobody was looking at. So there's a huge capacity that we have that we're not even looking at all. And that's what you're highlighted for us.
And I believe that, hold on, I believe that I believe that the youth have enough power. Look at what happened during the EndSARS. They were able to gather funds. They were able to contribute. Like something will happen where they were, stationed during the protest, and they will gather funds and help somebody. We actually have the resources. We actually have the money. We know how to bring ourselves together. The only problem is we do not have interest in doing the right things. Because we see, when we watch BBN, we see this one, a fan bought me, they gathered money, they create WhatsApp groups, they buy houses for people that don't mean anything to you.
It therefore means that our major challenge now is that we need to move young people from advocating and sensitization and we no go green. We need to move them into a call to action. And it is to achieve that call to action that I'm laying it bare on the table that they may run with it. Look, Buhari won with 15 million plus votes. Do you know how small that is in there? Okay, the number they allocated to maybe about
just a few universities.
Article my candidate, they allocated about 12 million. So we have our issues, but let's just leave it at that. So 12 plus 15, maybe 27. And the total voter number is 80 or 70 million. So it means that if we can just
the other 50 were disillusioned with the 2 candidates.
Now I'm telling you, my dear sister, they were why didn't they back Eli if they were that disillusioned? Why didn't they back Mogalu if they were that disillusioned? Why didn't they're not? Look, my sister, you come from a history of advocates. Your grandmother, your dad, everybody. We are Egbas. We are not the kind of people that say this challenge is too. How will I not be? My name is Show. We're from the same market. How would you? We're not the kind of people that look at things in the eyes and tell them and say it can't be done. We have to be dead.
Yeah, so that's why we are doing our
But what I'm trying to say to you, my sister,
from emotions to data,
to action.
Let us take the line of least resistance. There will always be something better than the other, we'll always be able...
Let Tokwe jump in. Hold it for a minute.
Jump in.
Because I have to run.
Yes, I wanted to...
You need like 2 hours for us to engage this topic.
We had this conversation years back, and I feel bad because it seemed like you prophesied that in 20 years' time, if we don't get our acts together, we'll have the same conversation. If you remember, Murayo, when we had Toyosi Akerele, what she said every human, every educated person must be the dawn of her location or his location and be able to canvass 5-10 votes that will be loyal to you. It takes taking ownership of, I have 10 people, I have 100 people.
We're all guilty.
At any point, I can call those 100. She said it about 5 years ago. It is still true till today.
We're back.
So I hear you, I understand. We all need to take responsibility for the 5 we can control. The 5
we
that
have
we
to
can
run, unfortunately.
Can I tell you how you know your 5 very easily? Your mom, your sister, maybe your housemate. If you have a husband, your husband. You have more than 10. Imagine each of us doing 10.
We do.
And we have the largest youth population, perhaps now.
Yeah. I said the 50 million is...
all your neighbors that you buy like you during Christmas.
What we must call youth in Nigeria has to be young at heart. Why? Because a generation has been holding forth for close to 60 years.
So when you call the Shewore, Fela, all of them were not youth.
We got to be the youth now. But I say what? On a very serious note.
You have to run.
Let us not insist that everybody who says he wants to be president, we're not going to give them a chance only to paint them with the tar of... look, a young man is out there now jumping around saying people are calling him. You guys can engage him.
They're not calling him. Who is calling him?
Don't worry. You can engage him. You can drag him. You can try to understand. You can empathize. You can do so much to see whether that's the type of youth we need, or maybe we need another.
Unfortunately, Mr. Showumi, we have to run.
You need to come back.
He
says, for the first time, I listened to Uncle Sheb Showumi, and I am moved. He's making a lot of sense in politics.
You don't have a lot of fans.
You don't have a lot of fans. I tell you what the problem is. Because for the first time, I'm not discussing the APC. And so the youths that were purchased by APC are always very angry when I really speak truth to power. And I tell you what, I am one of those people who is so patriotic. My ultimate objective is let Nigeria just be a great nation.
Just like everybody.
Because we have the capacity
to run.
to
Unfortunately, that's all we can take.
So
YK is going to be 60 next week, Monday.
YK, you're going to be 60 next week, Monday.
So I'm giving and we're giving you gifts and gifts.
You're giving us gifts?
You're
giving out gifts?
Me now.
Okay, YK. So this is your 60th birthday. What are we going to do now? We're having a party.
YK, the first book is from a fan. She said I shouldn't mention her name on television, but she lives. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, very beautiful, very
beautiful. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So she sent you that.
Please give me a number.
I'll give you definitely. She sent you that.
YK, you just got land now. You got shoes to go to the land.
And the other one is from the ladies. Yeah. So it's a pair of slippers.
Wow.
It's all wrapped in. Don't worry.
You know why? You know I'm getting old.
They even put your name on it.
I have to be wearing.
Wow.
Another fan also sent you $50.
Yes, so we're going to let you know. But YK, we know we love you.
Are you showing me?
Yes, yeah.
Because at Beecee Day, you have to be wearing slippers. Anyway, so...
thank you, ladies.
As we wrap up, let me wrap up with you. I'd like to give you final words on this as we go off on... we thank you for coming, but we know that we have to bring you back on this conversation. Sorry? Oh, the NYSC. Actually, before I let you go, thank you, Beecee, for reminding me.
What's that?
I got a call from the DG, because what happened yesterday, we discussed NYSC. So we got a call from the Director, Press and Public Relations, Ms. Adenike Adeyemi. She sent me a message, and she actually spoke to me. And she's the PR for the NYSC, and she tried to explain to us that the NYSC is not insensitive to the plight of young people going across the country. The DG is very concerned, and he's working very closely with the security operatives to ensure the safety of young people. And they're also doing everything to ensure that these children are safe within the campus. And they are very, very concerned about the safety, and they've put measures in place to ensure optimal safety of our children. So our parents should, they actually have they're very empathetic about parents. They understand how they feel, but they're reassuring our parents that all measures have been put in place to ensure the safety of our children. That's all we can say. Thank you very much, sir.
Totally my pleasure.
Hope you enjoyed your time with us.
I thought it was too short. We need like a lot of time to just like
we'll bring you back. We'll bring you back.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
That's all we can take.
Sis, happy birthday. Many happy returns.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.